Hi, Veronica. How you doing? So I want to talk about your work, this week's corporate identity work. Okay, and I'm just going to go through your piece here, and we're going to I'm going to kind of think out loud a little bit. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my immediate thoughts, as if I were looking at this alone. You know, like the things I would be thinking if I were to look at this, and then I'm also going to give you some suggestions. Um, so um, the first thing I want to do is take a look at well, let's look at the background page first. Okay, I noticed that you have been working with this background page, and that's awesome. I'm so glad that you've been working with that. Um, it's invaluable to start early placing your work on pages so that you can work with your presentation. So I think you got a nice leg up here in entering the final phase of the portfolio as it relates to this class. So you already have a lot of layout experimentation under your belt, so to speak. So that's good. The downside of this is the color and the just the amount of attention you're demanding here from your background page. It's a lot. It's overwhelming to me. I think that just it's very very aggressively trying to get someone's attention, and we don't need to do that in portfolio. You've already got their attention. It's not like someone's across the room and it's like poster design where you have to say, hey, look at me and come over here and look at me. This is a portfolio that you're going to have in somebody's hands. They're going to have it in their hands, or they're going to have been guided to your site. So you have their attention. So take it easy a little bit. Okay, let's take a look at the next page here. Okay, and this is a really great written rationale. It really is. It's so cool and it's so well done. Suggestion here is to take all of your work and write these things out. Then keep them aside for yourself. Remember in the video I showed you that stack of design narratives basically that I prepared in conjunction with the work in that portfolio so that I could study those and be educated on my own work. In other words, I'm able to answer questions about my own work. What font did I use? Why did I use that? Why did I use this combination of color choices? What am I trying to say by placing the type on a diagonal like this? And all of these things that you will be asked when you're showing your portfolio, and you need answers for that. Really super important that you have answers for all the questions asked of you in your portfolio. So that it's a really good idea to prepare for that. Okay, so the downside of this page is this is good corporate identity. You don't really need a page number in portfolio. That as we can already see, this pink is, even when you get to your work, I mean, this pink is just it's just demolishing your work. It really it's such a tense relationship based on the diagonal, the fact that this is the first thing on the page we look at, and the fact that it's in that pink. So I would cool it on the amount of type that you present in. Now write this all out for every one of your pieces for your own edification, of course, as I just mentioned. But so write these things out and just really take the bare minimum. All right, what do I need to know? Okay, corporate identity, this is a redesign, so all you have to do and for this piece is say redesign. So if this is your corporate identity header, which it looks like it is, that's groovy. So you would just use that as your header. I would change the color of that, remove the color, and then just present your written rationale somewhere, like, okay, so it's a redesign, and what software you used and what your objectives were. That's it. That's all you need. Okay, just so I have a little bit when I'm looking at it, so I know what your intent was. Okay, I don't. Nobody needs to know all of this stuff. Okay, not in portfolio. Definitely, like I said, super important that you know it because you're going to get asked about it. Okay. Okay. This redesign here is fabulous. I just can't believe how well it's done. It's really nice. I love the yellow. That's to me the only color that's working here. I don't understand this right here. It says logo was required in 2 versions. Letters only skewed and whole logo skewed. And I don't know what that means. Skewed is not a design vocabulary. It's not a design term. So let's go ahead and use the industry vocabulary in your explanations. I don't know what that means, so I'm kind of basically, I look at that, I'm scratching my head and going, oh, I don't understand that. So the yellow is great. This is a good presentation. This page is very nice, except for, of course, that big pink thing. So production-wise, this is going to print like you've got that image in the background, so don't expect to be able to get too small with this. It's probably going to fall apart by the time it gets to a business card. So just be aware of that and possibly have a couple of backup iterations of this that are just the color. Oh, I just saw a huge issue. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about down here because that image is skewed. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. It looks like Pittsburgh's, I mean, sorry, yikes. It looks like Philly's falling over. Definitely, definitely don't want to do that. Okay, so have a solid color version of this. I've got to wrap this up. So this, I just want you to notice, is now, you've changed it from your logo sheet. Your logo sheet presents it horizontally, and now you're presenting, you've put it on a diagonal. And I like it like that. I think it adds a lot of movement. As a matter of fact, I really like it a lot like that. But again, it's not consistent. So make a decision and stick with it. Let's move down. This, I don't know if this is a PDF rendering, but that logo, that type doesn't go well with your card. It's too, you need something really super contemporary. This is a good choice down here. Letterhead looks great. Envelope, business card, everything looks great here. But take a look at an inconsistency. Look at the top of your logo. It's almost to the page margin. And then over here, you're on the business card. You are over the page, which would cause a full bleed card, cost extra money, no reason for that. Then over here, you got some good distance. So please make sure that you have those consistent edges, white space around your logo, okay? And then this is good, but I want you to put this in Photoshop and create a, oh, what the heck is it called? Displacement map. And actually create a displacement map for the image. I'm sorry, for the image, so you can kind of mend the image into the fabric as opposed to placing it in front of it. Because you can tell just as it's just placed over the T-shirt. So that will help it look like it's been woven into the fabric. Not woven, but printed on. Likewise here, just only pick one apparel. Don't show 2 apparel, or put all 3 on one page, even better. But that would be, I would say that's overkill as far as apparel. These are good. I like these a lot. That's a great shot right there. Great shot. I would feature that shot. This is okay, but again, we have a big, huge inconsistency here. Here's your logo on the diagonal, and here's your logo. So we've got an issue right here. We got some inconsistency in your corporate identity right there. So take care of that. This is a duplicate of this picture, so either show one, but don't show both, because I can see that you merely changed color on that. So get a different shot if you want, but don't use the same image. Okay, and I think that's it. Yes. Okay, so really good job. Excellent job. I love it. I love the redesign's fabulous. Really, really, really good job there. Okay. Okay, thanks. Any questions, just get with me. Thanks.